The Patriots and Rams are set to face off in the Super Bowl this year, 17 years to the day after they faced each other in Super Bowl 36. Now, these are two storied franchises. The Patriots, of course, have won 5 Super Bowls, and the Rams won their first franchise Super Bowl when they were in St. Louis. But what if I told you all of that almost never happened? What if I told you there is an alternate timeline, one that very nearly happened, that would have seen the end of the Patriots franchise before they ever won a Super Bowl, and would have seen the Rams either staying in Los Angeles, never winning a Super Bowl in St. Louis, or moving to another city, which in turn would have ended the Ravens' legacy before it ever began, and may have kept a winning franchise in Cleveland, even winning the Browns multiple Super Bowls. Getting to 50,000 subscribers before my birthday in March seemed impossible, but you've been making it look possible. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can help our ridiculous goal be achieved by doing it now. Okay, so those are some wild theories, but let me explain where they come from. In 1991, attempts began to be made to get an NFL franchise back in St. Louis after the Cardinals left for Arizona after the 1987 season. And St. Louis originally tried to join the league as an expansion franchise, but the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars were the two teams selected to join the league in the 1995 expansion. So after that, the city set its sights on relocation as the source of its new franchise, and in 1992, advertising executive James Orthwein bought the Patriots from Victor Kayam with the intention of moving the team to St. Louis. Now, at the time, the Patriots franchise was just being traded between businessmen trying to avoid debts and bankruptcy. Original owner Billy Sullivan sold the franchise 3 years after losing to the famed '85 Bears in the Super Bowl in order to avoid bankruptcy, after asking Michael Jackson unsuccessfully to bail him out. Yes, the Michael Jackson. Victor Kayam owed millions to Orthwein, so sold him the Patriots, and Orthwein was all set to move the franchise to St. Louis. There was only one problem. The Patriots had one very loyal, very powerful fan who had purchased Foxborough Stadium in a bankruptcy sale from Billy Sullivan, and when Orthwein tried to buy himself out of the long-term lease in 1994, the owner of the stadium, Robert Kraft, refused. Orthwein wasn't the last man to try and move the Patriots to St. Louis. Robert Kraft had forced a hostile takeover bid for the franchise, but other bids existed, including one that could have seen the team move to Baltimore. But the most noteworthy one came from current Los Angeles Rams owner Stan Kroenke. Kroenke had offered more money, but Robert Kraft had offered a record $175 million for a sports franchise, as well as no more headaches. Kroenke had apparently offered $200 million, but expected Orthwein to assume costs for relocation and to still deal with that Foxborough Stadium lease. Robert Kraft successfully performed a hostile takeover to keep the Patriots in New England. The potential repercussions of someone other than Kraft owning the Patriots were huge. St. Louis planned to name its team the St. Louis Stallions, so no more Patriots. And without Robert Kraft, there'd be no Bill Belichick as head coach of the Patriots. And without Bill Belichick, there'd be no Tom Brady as quarterback of the Patriots. And without all three, there'd be no 5 Super Bowls and a potential for a 6th. And that's just the Patriots. The franchise being moved to St. Louis would have sent shockwaves throughout the rest of the NFL, changing history as we know it. Now, as we now know, Stan Kroenke ended up getting his St. Louis franchise when he bought a 30% share in the Rams and moved them to Missouri. Now, this was possible because the Los Angeles Rams needed a new stadium and the city of LA was refusing to fund it. But now the St. Louis Stallions are happy in Missouri and the Rams still need a new home, and some options are available, such as the first option that owner Georgia Frontier had considered, the city of Baltimore. Her hometown of St. Louis no longer being an option, she decides on Baltimore, the city where her husband had originally owned the Colts. So that's how we get the Baltimore Rams. Along comes Kurt Warner and what could have been the greatest show on turf. There's only one problem. The Baltimore Rams play their games on grass, and Kurt Warner, who won 78% of the games he played in a dome, now plays his home games outdoors where he only won 39% of his games. And that's how the Rams never win a Super Bowl. So those are the main franchises affected. The Patriots cease to exist, the Rams move to Baltimore, the Ravens never exist, and Super Bowl fortunes are switched. There is one other team that is directly affected by all of this. Because the Rams moved to Baltimore, there was no stadium or yearly subsidy to draw the Browns away from Cleveland to the city of Baltimore. The Cleveland Browns stay put. and keep their front office that followed the team to Baltimore anyway. That means that Ozzie Newsome still knocks it out of the park in 1996, selecting Hall of Famers Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. And what doesn't change is that the Browns struggle financially and is partially sold in 2000. Who buys it? Who knows? At this point, maybe Dan Gilbert, maybe Peter Angelos and Tom Clancy. It doesn't really matter. What's important is that Brian Billick was hired before all of that under Art Modell. And under Billick, the Browns still win the Super Bowl in 2000, and without the Patriots dominating the early 2000s, maybe one or two more. And this gives birth to one of the greatest sporting rivalries of all time between Peyton Manning and Ray Lewis. A rare rivalry between two franchise-leading juggernauts who stand on the field at the same time. And for the next 15 years, AFC Championship games regularly feature two of the NFL's premier franchises, the Indianapolis Colts and Cleveland Browns. Now, the Baltimore Rams struggle for relevance after a failed Kurt Warner experiment, and the St. Louis Stallions can't find a coach after Bill Parcells refuses to move with the team. And first overall pick Drew Bledsoe eventually joins Parcells in Dallas as a free agent following his rookie deal, and they go on to make it 6 Super Bowls for the Cowboys. Tom Brady in all of this goes undrafted to his hometown San Francisco 49ers, and Bill Belichick sticks with the Jets, who struggle to unseat the Colts as the head of the AFC East. People like to blame the Patriots for a lot of things that are wrong in the NFL, but maybe the worst they ever did was contribute to the fall of a once proud franchise in the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens' success doesn't come at the cost of the Browns, it's the Patriots' success which is the reason that the Cleveland Browns have been to the playoffs twice in the last 28 years, and it's all because Robert Kraft refused to see his team leave for another city.